me begin. I came to win, battle me, that's a sin. I won't ever slack up, punk, you better back up.
But it's Monday, October 8, the start of a new gaming week. I'm Fox, welcome back to Foxy Games UK, your aggregate source of gaming news and rampant rumour. So let's get the following rapid news bite out of the way before we get into the headline news. So it's congrats to Microsoft and their recently acquired studio Playground Games taking this week's UK number 3 chart position with Forza Horizon 4. Probably the best open world arcade racer in the world. Quite the looker on my Xbox One S. The X version looks even more incredible in native 4K. Forza Horizon 4 sales are actually higher than 2016's Forza Horizon 3, the Windows/Xbox exclusive, only narrowly beaten by Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which claims number 2 chart position with FIFA 19 predictably taking number 1. If you're interested in this week's top 10, the full chart can be found via gamedindustry.biz, linked in this video's description. Now, of course, Forza Horizon 4 is set in the UK, so it may have tipped the edge for many. Still, Forza Horizon 4 deserves its high review scores, currently sitting on a 92 Metacritic, just 2 points behind the mighty God of War on the PlayStation 4 and one of the better releases for the Xbox Game Pass service. Here's a quote from Xbox UK director Harvey Eagle. We're thrilled that Forza Horizon 4 has been so well received by gamers across the UK. Set in beautiful historic Britain and made by a British studio, Playground Games, Forza Horizon 4 is the fastest ever selling game of the Forza Horizon series in the UK according to the latest GFK data. We're also seeing a huge uplift in Xbox Game Pass subscriptions and engagement. These achievements are a testament to the craft and ambition of the latest release of the Forza franchise, the world's biggest racing IP. So Forza Horizon 4 released on October 2nd and is the fastest selling game in the series in the UK so far. Great news for Team Xbox and Playground Games there. And now for our main news segment. Surprise, surprise. Or is it? A Sony patent has been discovered allowing for regular PS4 games to run on PlayStation 5 using backwards compatibility. But get this, PS5 is able to allegedly enhance those PS4 games at a system-based level, autonomous remastering, if you like. Reported via Push Square and a variety of other outlets just hours ago. Here's the full story. So a patent spotted by Gear Nuke has prompted fresh PS5 backwards compatibility rumours and speculation. Although not entirely convinced the site's speculation is entirely accurate, the documentation is legit. Dubbed Remastering by Emulation and initially filed way back in 2016 before being published for public consumption just this month. The abstract talks about taking original software and then inserting new assets on the fly, effectively allowing classic games to be played on higher resolution displays in remastered form. Sounds a lot like backwards compatibility, doesn't it? Though it could be the patent pertains to some of Sony's recent remasters like Parappa the Rapper Remastered. Now, it all sounds fine and dandy, I'm sure, but for those of you who didn't know, the Japanese giants actually created a PSP emulator for the PlayStation 4, which it used for several games like Loco Roco Remastered and Patapon Remastered. Now, the way this works is that it takes the portable game code but replaces the original assets with 4K ones, resulting in a more modern presentation. Now, Push Square seem to believe that this is what the patent is referring to, especially when you consider that the documentation was filed back in 2016 when PS4 Pro was being prepped, a few months before Parappa the Rapper announced for the PS4 as well. Now, of course, it's safe for you to believe PS5 will be fully backwards compatible with PS4 games, but this patent is far from conclusive in exactly how the emulation and remastering process will actually affect games going forward. Now, on the surface of things, this seems to be a balanced mixture of emulation and remastering. PS4 Pro and Xbox One X handle unpatched games simply by brute forcing them, and this is being factored in by many development studios around the world, hence why so many games have dynamic resolution scaling and unlocked frame rate options, obviously so the next generation of consoles can capitalize and deliver an uncompromising 60 FPS and at 4K for those PS4 and Xbox One X titles that could not maintain it. Here's a quick summary of what the patent entails. Now, each asset such as a texture called for by legacy software, such as a legacy computer game software, as a unique identifier associated with it. The unique identifier can be rendered defended by imposing a hash on the asset and then the asset stored with its identifier in a data structure. An artist remasters the textures for presentation on a higher resolution display than envisioned in the original software and stores them back in the data structure with their identifiers. The original software is then played on the higher resolution display with assets such as texture calls being intercepted, identified, and the data structure entered to retrieve the remastered asset having a matching identifier. Now the remastered asset is then inserted on the fly into the game's presentation. Now many of you may recall I reported on this 7 whole months ago in a video on this very channel titled PS5 will 100% play PS4 games, and more recently in a dedicated video some 2 or so months ago titled some PS4/Pro games will run at 60 FPS 4K on PS5, and I outlined the reasons why in the video. Check it out if you haven't already. I have linked all my receipts in the video's description. Now, we know emulation is not 100% flawless. I suspect much like PS4 Pro, the PS5 hardware will have a boost and sample or super sample modes allowing for a toggle on and off option in case some games behave weirdly. Now just imagine replaying God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, Detroit Become Human, Marvel's Spider-Man, and a plethora of third-party titles all running at an unwavering 60 FPS and at native 4K resolutions, or at least as close to it as possible. It's just too tantalizing, isn't it? Oh, and just one more thing before we go. Remember the Metal Gear Solid 5 sniping assassin named Quiet? Yes, well, she be returning and making an appearance in Hideo Kojima's latest opus, Death Stranding. Wowza. Anyway, let me know what you think and stay tuned to Foxy Games UK for everything current and next-gen gaming, and as usual a link to all content covered today can be found in the video's description. Share your thoughts and opinions on today's news, because that unfortunately, yes I know, brings us to the end of yet another video, but let's continue the discussion in the comments. And for more regular PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch and next-gen news updates, subscribe to Foxy Games UK, remember to hit the notification bell so you never miss content, thumbs up if you like the video, and help us reach more like-minded gamers simply by sharing this video. And if you really like what I do, show some love, support the cause, consider supporting Foxy Games UK via Patreon, and or snag yourself a Foxy Games UK branded tee or hoodie available in white, grey and military green. Snapback b-ball caps coming soon. You'll find both Patreon and Foxy Games UK merchandising links in this video's description. Very much appreciated for all the support. And so there we have it. Until the next video, always remember, play games, not corporations.